Hey, hey world. Hope everybody's doing amazing. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've got a quick 5-minute video here. It's actually going to be one part of a 3-part series, Leadership in Business, which is leading people and leading yourself. So I got a question in straight from Hawaii. A dear friend of mine who has reached out. We've made a connection through Facebook, and getting to know him, I definitely recognize him as an emerging leader and someone who's using business for social good, helping people through the industry of direct sales and network marketing, and is quite the go-getter. He's got a lot of background, and so excited to help him out through answering this question that he has brought into me. So his question was, in business, is there a good way to connect to a disengaged team member? So for those of us who are in business, leading people, leading teams, leading ourselves, there are times, because we are dealing with people, where people can sometimes step back, disengage, or almost just not produce, and there's always reasons why we are not productive, or reasons why we've decided to disengage. So as a leader, it's really about who are you being and what type of approach is a good approach to re-engage that person and to really get them back into the game of really being productive and producing results within the business, as well as fulfilling results for them as a person. So I think that's a fantastic question. Is there a good way? Well, even within the question, it does ask, is it good or bad? It's not necessarily about good or bad. I like to look at it from the angle of what's the most human way to approach my people? Meaning, how can I level with them eye to eye, heart to heart, soul to soul? Because when I come from that place, when I come from asking questions from that energy space and that mindset, I find that the results are a lot more favorable. Meaning, if I ask them a question like, hey, I really want to acknowledge everything that you've done so far in the past. You're doing great within the company, or really acknowledge them for whatever it is I see that they're doing really well. And then point out afterwards, would it be okay with you if I ask you some personal questions? And from that question, it just opens up the opportunity to whether or not they want to be asked a question or not. And when they say yes, yeah, sure, you can ask me some personal questions. I will ask, something like, I've noticed that, in the last few days or so, or even the last few weeks, whatever the time frame is, I've just noticed that, you're not quite the same. Is there anything that you need to speak to me about? Is there anything that you need to be your best self? And now this way, I'm not pointing the blame. I'm not pointing out their shortcomings. I'm not pointing out and saying something that could potentially set them off into the wrong direction. But what I am doing is I'm opening and inviting the opportunity for them to speak their minds. Sometimes the reason why people disengage is because, number one, they're afraid to say something. Number two, they're not sure what to say, so they don't say anything at all. Number three, they don't actually believe that there's a solution available for them, so they just disconnect. And knowing that one of those three things might be happening, have that compassion to just understand where they're coming from, because they truly might not know what to say, or they're just afraid. Have that compassion, and then open up the opportunity by letting them know how much you care. And the words that you choose to open up with, let them know that you care. So again, starting off with that acknowledgement, acknowledging who they are as a person, acknowledging what they've done for the company. Number two, then ask for permission to ask personal questions. Would it be okay with you if I open up this conversation to ask you some more personal questions? Would it be okay with you? Very specific words. And then the third part is, this is what I've noticed, and I'd love to give you the opportunity to really speak your mind. How can I help you? How can I help us move forward? And then that way, it just opens up this conversation in the space of collaboration, in the space of them knowing that you truly do care, in the privacy and comfort of just a one-on-one conversation. So is there a good way? Well, again, that's to suggest that there is a good or a bad way. I like to look at it from the human perspective. What is the human way to approach someone who you notice that may or may not be disengaged? All right, I hope that answered your question. I'm going to get on to part 2 of the other 2 questions that you've asked as well. And I'm sharing this video publicly because there are a lot of leaders out there in business. These little nuggets, these little tips might help them as well to have a mini breakthrough starting today, and for them to move forward to success and beyond. All right, with that being said, see you on Facebook, see you on Periscope. Thanks so much, and see you on the next video. Bye.